This first one is from Keith Emmerich. He says, why isn't Jalen Samuels playing more over Snell and McFarland? Snell doesn't have the juice, and McFarland seems in over his head. Bring up Smallwood, can't get worse, right? I'll say this. I did think that Jalen, I don't think he played bad. I thought that he had I want to say it was a nice little screen or it was a draw run that he had. But in terms of the personnel from the running back standpoint, and we said this before, I don't think it's running back related. I feel like it's still offensive line. I know people are trying to go with the cop out of Randy Fichtner, and we'll get to that. But to me, the most alarming thing is the lack of push up front. Anytime it's a run play, you look at the line of scrimmage, we are not gaining any positive ground from that line of scrimmage standpoint. I think that's the first thing. And then secondly, with the running game, and we're not committed to it. We saw at one point, I think we threw the ball 13 times in a row before we had one run. That's not going to be a long-term recipe for success. We've talked about it numerous times up here. We also said that, hey, all right, we're done talking about running the game and being balanced. Let's put it all on Ben. And we talked about it as well with the margin of error. When you throw the ball that much and you're not at least trying to be committed to running the ball or at least running it effectively, you're going to have these type of issues. But I don't think it was necessarily a McFarland or Benny Snell thing or a Jalen Samuel thing. I just think that right now, man, the O-line has to get better because that's the biggest part of why the running game isn't successful right now, from my opinion.
No, I agree with you because part of me thinking this morning was, okay, well, we get Connor back. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, man, this line isn't changing at all.
That's the problem,
we've seen the struggles throughout this whole season. I do think it will help a little bit if he's out there for 70 to 80% of the time, where maybe if Snell's out there, McFarland's out there, we're almost given a little bit of a sign what we're going to be doing. Where Connor, maybe we could disguise that a little bit. But I'm with you, dude. It's the line. I was thinking, though, there was a couple of times with McFarland, we ran it with him out the shotgun. We just didn't stick with him. It was 4 carries for 15 yards. So he didn't look that bad.
But there was There
was 2 times where it was the line again, where he couldn't do anything at all. And that just seems like what it's come to all these times we try to run it. And I remember when I said a couple weeks ago, like I want to run the ball. I see the importance of it. I just don't want to be wasting plays.
But see, that's
the problem.
I think that's what. Remember, this is where we differed. You said, like, to me, I said I don't view a run that's 0 yards or maybe 1 yard as a negative play. I view that as keeping the defense honest. Whereas you had said that you would much rather just go with the shorter passing attack, right? The 2 to 3 yard pass and use that as a pseudo run. And my whole thing with that is, as long as you're catching the ball, it works. We saw yesterday they had 7 drops. The game before that, they had 5 drops. That's a ton of drops in 2 games. I think they said the 7 drops yesterday was the most that they've had in a game this year. I mean, in terms of the whole NFL, that's a ton of drop passes. But the problem is when you're dropping that many passes and ultimately you're not staying on schedule, whether it's a drop or incompletion, you're not on schedule. You're not moving the ball. And ultimately, man, that adds up and it makes your offense stagnant. And we've talked about how our offense has been very reliant upon either a deep pass completion or a deep or pass interference. And we didn't get either one of those. Now, James Washington, he made a guy miss on a short completion and then turned it to I think it was a 40-yard touchdown or whatever. But outside of that, and
we did get one with Claypool. It was only like 15 yards.
But that's what I'm saying. We didn't have like how we've been seeing in our games that we've been successful in. We've been seeing 40, 50-yard penalty type situations with those with the pass interference. Like usually it's field flipping, whereas we never got that yesterday. And we saw how the offense really looked like just stale. And that segment was brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sports booking app. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. And for all the first-time users out there, if you use the promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. But Deke, we know sports booking isn't allowed everywhere, right? Unfortunately, we know this. But we do know fantasy football, right? We're familiar with fantasy football. Pretty good with it, actually, you know.
I'm okay. Okay.
And I do know DraftKings has a fantasy football app as well, you know. So it's kind of like
that's
combining the two.
Yeah.
And they're giving out $1 million in prizes every single week. I mean, I don't know about you. That sounds amazing to me.
That's a good chunk of change.
A lot, right? So if you like it, I like it. If you're a first-time user, download and use the promo code Moats. But more importantly, man, you got options here. You could go sportsbooking or you can go fantasy app. Well, whichever one you use the promo code and let's get an opportunity to make some money.